Welcome to the Instant Local Guide 10 training. What I will be walking you through in this training is going to be a step-by-step process on how you can create Local Guide 10 accounts in less than a day. So I don't want to waste any time. We'll get directly into the training. But we'll go ahead and showcase these. Why not? So as you can see here, if you're writing a review, that's worth 10 points. A larger review actually gets more points. That's very interesting. Rating a business is a point. Uploading a photo is 5 points. Tag a photo. That's very interesting. Upload, respond to Q&As. So you can go ahead and see all these here. Adding a place is 15. Adding a road is 15. Check a fact is 1. And publish an eligible list is worth 10. Write a description in list is also worth points as well. So where we primarily focus is going to be here, video and photo. But this is how you earn points. I also, in this video, like I mentioned before, once you're inside of your actual account that is Local Guide approved, in this video, what I will be covering is what exactly is going to be needed in order to get your Local Guide 10 account. So the very first thing that I want to cover is you will need to go ahead and sign up for the Local Guides program. So you will need a Gmail, you'll need an internet connection and a computer, of course. But then you'll want to make your way over to maps.google.com/local guides. In the next video, I will walk you through that entire process. We'll do it together just in case you have any stumbling blocks along the way. The next thing that you're going to need is a scraping tool. There's two that I've used in the past for scraping images. You know, myself, I've used two separate tools. One of them, a very well-known tool, is called Scrapebox. So Scrapebox will allow you to go ahead and scrape images along with a lot of other things. This particular website will be in the resource section of this training. The tool that we will be utilizing in this training, though, will be the GSA SER image spider. All right, now that tool works exceptionally well, and you're able to go ahead and make modifications to the images to make them unique, all right, if you wanted to do that. So that's the GSA image spider. There's GSA, but if you wanted to do it a manual way, there are sites like Pexels, which allow you to go ahead and download free stock images that you're allowed to utilize for your own personal use. So Pexels is one, but I'm sure there's a lot of different sites out there that you could go ahead and download images for free without getting into any trouble. So this is going to wrap it up for what you're going to need. You can check the resource section for the download links, and I will see you in the next training video. See you then. Hello and welcome back to the training. So in this video, what I will be walking you through is the step-by-step process on how you can go ahead and set up your Local Guide account. So what you'll need to do is go ahead and open up inside of your Chrome browser, whichever browser you decide to use. I'm using Chrome for this example on a Windows PC. What I have here is a new and fresh, well, relatively new Google account. So this is a Google account that I have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sign up for the Local Guide program, and we'll do that together. So there's no question on how to do it. All right, so here's what we'll do. We will head on over to that particular Gmail account. What we will do is we're going to go to our resource file. All right, I got this directly from the resource file. It even said resource file, maps.google.com/local guides. Now, once we're on this particular page, this is what the page will look like. What you're looking to do is you can either click here, all right, or up here in the top right. I'm going to go ahead and click the top right. Now, once you're on here, what you will be brought to is this screen here. Love to help people find great places, which I definitely do. We can see here that there's a lot of different things that we can talk about here, but they want to know where your locally relevant emails and rewards, where to send this to, like where are you going to be performing. Now, this is completely up to you. You can type in numerous cities here. So wherever you're going to be maybe promoting a business or businesses, this is where I would potentially select. I do feel that the guide should be relevant, or at least semi-relevant, to the location that you want to perform in. So for me, I'm going to do Florida. All right, so Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I agree. I do not agree. Well, I'll agree to that too and become a local guide. So now, as you can see here, we've been welcomed with a very cool page. It says, "Welcome. You're officially a member of the local guide community on Google Maps. Start contributing." So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the Start Contributing member. And now you can see here we have Chris Palmer, Local Guide 1. We come take a look at some of these images and photos. We can see that this is a beginning. There's 0 points here. There's nothing cooking. What you can double check on is if you go over to the Gmail, all right, you'll see that usually they send you a welcome message, but maybe they did not for me yet. But that's perfectly fine. It's no trouble. Generally, I thought that they did, but in this case, they haven't. If they're going to, they might do it later. But nonetheless, we have set up our local guide account. This is what it looks like. This is the process. Very simple, very straightforward. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'll see you. In this video, what we will be walking through step by step will be exactly how you can utilize a tool. And in this particular video, the tool of choice is going to be the GSA SER image spider. So I'll walk you through the process of utilizing GSA image spider in order to gather and accumulate images very rapidly so we can then utilize these images in order to boost up our local guide accounts. So let me go ahead and walk you through that process now. All right, so I've already taken the liberty to go ahead and download the GSA image spider. As you can see, it looks like this. I have installed it and put it onto my desktop. And what's really good about this, I want to say as a second note, is you do not have to own GSA, the link building tool. These are separate products that GSA offers. All right, so you could buy this as a single standing program. All right, if you want, it's up to you. So we will go ahead and double click on this particular tool. And in order to speed up this training video, I'm just going to walk you through some of the tips, because when you're scraping thousands of images, all right, it will take quite a bit of time depending on how good your computer is, basically. How much RAM does your computer have? How fast will your computer work? So I will just go ahead and walk you through a couple things inside of this tool. Now, you will want to come over here and take a look, and you can feel free to mess with all types of stuff. But I'll walk you through the basic settings and how you can start scraping these images. All right. Now, because I've already gone ahead and taken the liberty to scrape, I believe 16,000 images that are good enough for what we're going to be doing and exactly what I need them for, what I'll take you through is this particular tool. So if you were to, say, click on settings first and foremost, you can really start to look at the types of images that you're going to scrape. Now, for me, what I did is I was scraping anything for this particular project, but you may want to stick with just JPEGs or PNGs, more notably maybe just JPEGs. And the reason is because the file is so small. So you may want to set this to just JPEG. Now that's completely up to you. All right, so with that being said, you can set some of these other filters on here. You can set it by size. You can also set width and height. Okay. And I believe when I set this initial scrape up, that is what I did, but I could be mistaken. But you can feel free. If you only want 500 by 500, that's a basic thumbnail, completely up to you. All right. So this is how you would change the settings to scrape smaller images of a certain size. All right, so that's the settings. The next thing that I'll go ahead and share with you is the tools. Now, inside of the tools, you can go ahead and you can check your images. All right, and you can remove duplicates as well, anything that's in the folder with the same name. Perhaps it were to scrape it twice. All right, completely up to you. The next thing is you can export these images. You can export them to a particular file on your machine for easy uploading to, I don't know, your website or perhaps the local guide account. The next thing is adding and starting your project. All right, so let's talk about this. So when we're over here, you can see that there are 4 options over here on the top left-hand side. Now, what I generally do is search by keyword. All right, so you can search by keyword. And as you can see, when I was doing a scrape for this, you can see where I was looking and where I was scraping for. Where I was scraping and what I was scraping for. So when you're taking a look here, I put in keywords such as BMW auto repair, Audi auto repair, Mini Cooper auto repair, and Mercedes-Benz auto repair. And the reason why I was searching for these specific types of keywords was because the client needs auto repair type images for these particular makes and models. So do what makes sense for you. All right. Now, when you take a look down here, scrapers to use, you can come down in here and you can start picking out and cherry picking the types of images that you want to take, right? So you might only want to take the free images. You might want to take all licenses, maybe the Bing Mirror, video preview image. You may or may not want to cherry pick only free images, all right? What I will mention to you is if you decide to take some of the other images, I'll share with you another step of where you can actually change and modify the images so at least they will appear to be unique. All right, so you can either search for just free and not have to worry, or you can make modifications and use them all. All right, completely up to you. All right, so what we're going to do here is we can come in here and go free. We can get rid of this one. All right, come on down the list here. We're just looking for free, right? So no license, no. Personal use modify, nope, right? So the personal use modify is where you might want to make modifications. Totally free is probably a lot easier, okay? But again, this is up to you. So here's Arc2V free. So you can make all these changes. It's all up to you, all right? So that's okay. Oh, it's going to scrape these. So here we can abort that, all right, because I want to keep what I have currently. Now, here's what you can do. Now, see how you can select these? I'm holding the control button and I can start selecting the images, all right? Just for an example, let's take this one. We're going to right click. When I right click on it, you see how you can compress. You can also check the images, but you can also use filters, all right? Now, what I did here is I clicked this, I right-clicked on it, and then I'm going to use a filter. So again, you find it, right-click, click on Use Filter, and then on the filter, and you can do this at scale. You can do them all. You can choose 10, you can choose 5. You can hit Control and highlight 5 or 6 of them, and then you can come in here and make your edits. So the easiest, fastest one is go ahead and put a watermark. And I believe that's what I did to them initially. So you can put watermarks on top. You can do half the size. You can change the contrast of it. So that way it makes it a little bit better. What I did when I was posting was I took anything that had a face or anything that had a brand logo. Before I posted it, I got rid of it. So that I was being selective with that. All right. If it has a face or a logo already on it, I don't want anything to do with it personally, right? But you can come in here and you can change this stuff out. But for me, I was looking for anything that was free, anything that didn't have a brand or a face, good enough. All right, but you could be as selective or unselective as you want. All right, so when you're coming inside of here, you can make your changes. I think just doing the contrast change changes all the pixels in the image. It probably does the best job. I know the change in contrast on videos works for YouTube. So if it works for videos on YouTube, I'm sure it works for images on Google as well, right? Same company, really. So this is how you make these changes and modifications, either to one image or to all of the images. All right, and then of course you would just click OK, and it would hurry up and make that change and then save it to your lot. All right, so this is going to be how to utilize this tool. This is how to select the sites. This is how to change the images. This is how to change contrast, put a watermark on there. You could put your logo on there. This is how you utilize this tool in order to pull the images, make them unique, so we can then upload them. All right, so this is this tool. The very last thing I want to just point out to you is the export feature. Now, I know I briefly skimmed over it as we were talking, but you might want to save the images to a folder or save to a URL. Completely up to you. I put them on my machine so then I can then change the names on the machine locally. Because I don't want there to be any GSA data left over, I want to save it to my local machine, so that way it's a local machine file, and then change the file, the properties on the actual machine on my local file. All right. I don't want it to have any remnants of GSA. All right. So that's why I save it to my computer first and then make the edits. All right. So that's going to wrap it up for this particular video on how to use the GSA image spider. If you're using another tool, I'm sorry, but this will be the tool that I'll be utilizing for this training. And I look forward to seeing you in the next training video. I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome back to the training. So in this video, what I will be walking you through is how you can then export the images after scraping them. So that way you can change out EXIF data, the compression size, do you want JPEG or PNG? I'll walk you through all the steps. So let's go back over to the GSA image spider. So we've scraped our images. Now it's time to export and make some changes. So you will want to come up here to the top left-hand side, click on the export button, and then click on the Save Images to folder, your local machine. The very first thing that you want to make sure of is clicking the Apply Filter button. This is absolutely mandatory. Don't forget, it auto chooses not to do this, so make sure you do that. The next thing is saving the file format. So JPEG is the smallest format, but it's completely up to you. Do you want a original? Do you want PNG so you have huge files? It's up to you. I'm going to choose JPEG. All right. So we're going to choose JPEG. Use recompression to reduce the file size. You will want to also check that. Next is going to be the file name template. So whatever you would like to name the files, I'm sure you want to put your keywords in there. I'm sure you might want to have some variation in there. This is completely up to you. The next step is the dupe name template. So do we want to put the name? Do we want to have the number? What stuff do you want in there? Again, the file names and the keywords are all up to you. All right. So the next thing is going to be make the file names lowercase. Again, this is completely up to you. And what kind of spacing do you want to use? Do you want to use dash? Do you want to use double dash? How do you want it to be done? I'm just going to use a dash. Make sure that your buttons are clicked. Check OK. The next step is going to be the quality compression. So compression is how small of an image do you want? How fast or how much time do you want to wait for everything to transfer and also upload into Google? So you can use 50. I know a few guys that like to use 50. I would use 50, but if you want a higher quality image, maybe use 60 or 75%, completely up to you. Now, as far as the EXIF data could be a magnitude of different things. I'll go ahead and click on this just so you can get a feel for it. Modify. You click the OK button. Now you can change out the titles, descriptions, tags, authors, keywords, copyright, all types of EXIF data. I'm not overly concerned with this, but you might want to geotag your images. This could be a wonderful option. All right, completely up to you. But we're going to go ahead and skip over that just for sake of this video. I'll go ahead and walk through the process again. So save images to file, apply filter, JPEG, auto compression, add your keywords. You want to add some variation, you can put that in here. How do you want it to be spaced out? Make sure everything's checked, have the right file fixed. Click OK. Compression's 50. EXIF data on or off, up to you, and then check OK. All right. It will start. You'll notice that there will be a little box that pops up for me to change out contrast and make modifications to the image. Again, we want to take our time with this, perhaps possibly using contrast. It makes the most change to the image the quickest and easiest. So we can come in here and do fixed resize. I like contrast. I do think that that's probably the best, easiest, fastest way to do it. You can then check OK, and then it will begin its job. And that's going to wrap it up for the exporting and changing of EXIF and information in your images to have them unique. I'll see you in the next training. Goodbye.